Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am Nathanius, coming at you with a new TvT build that popped up very recently on the GSTL between StarTale and NSHS. And basically what this is it's a double medevac hellbat drop, which has pretty much become one of the very strong builds that no one really kind of expected. So I want to do a bit of a run through and show you why it's so strong, and a little bit more information on it. I actually haven't yet lost a TvT opening with this build, so very standard opening. We're going to get our supply depot at 10 supply, and then our barracks at 12. Now the follow-up is going to be a gas at 13 supply, so this is going to be a very standard looking opener. I'm going to fast forward a little bit to help get to where we are headed now. Completely ignore our other Terran player in the bottom left position. I did this on a Smurf account, so I'm going to wall off pretty quickly here. Just immediately start mining this gas. The wall off not as important, but the next big thing we're going to do is, if you guys know the Reactor Hellion build, is basically what we're going to do. We're going to build 2 Marines out of our barracks, and then just fast forward a little bit. His SCV comes up, can't scout anything, of course. Very important. He doesn't know what's going on. Marine comes out and going to do a bit of poking away at the SCV, and he's going to run away. But we're going to start our factory now, and immediately afterwards, we're actually going to take that next gas geyser. So about 18 supply on the second gas. And then, after 2 Marines, we move our barracks over and we begin the reactor on it so that we can get Hellion production. So in order for this build to be safe, we want to open up with 2 Marines and 2 Hellions. This allows us to be pretty much safe against most Reaper openers. Hellions are pretty strong versus them, and they're also able to catch them if they're running around your base. So it can be a little bit vulnerable to builds like the 2 Racks Reaper, but those are things you can scout for. I choose not to scout this game because of how safe I feel it is. So as soon as we have another 100 gas, we're going to start the armory before the Starport, and basically let's get the factory ready to move over there. And here I build 2 Hellions defensively, and I also begin my Starport now that I have another 100 gas. So you're going to use the barracks, and basically all this barracks is going to do, shut down the scout SCV, is build reactors. So now you have another reactor, and this is going to line up perfectly with this Starport. And you're actually going to notice now, we're going to start 2 hellbats as soon as this armory is done, and it lines up pretty well. Starport's halfway done. We begin hellbat production. So now we're going to have 2, and you can make them without the transformation service upgrade. Well, there we go. Starport's done. Barracks reactor complete. Move the Starport onto here, and we just produce hellbats. I do a bit of push-ups because I'm awesome like that. And boom, we're gonna have 4 hellbats, and you produce 2 medevacs at once. My usual follow-up for this is an engineering bay in case of cloak banshee play. And then getting a missile turret. So for any other kind of drop defense, you can just make hellbats at home. But now we load up the medevacs and immediately head over to our opponent's base. So this build, if it does fail, which is almost unlikely to any degree, we can transition right into mech. But now we're going to boost into our opponent's base. We see he has a couple of Hellions. We want to drop on top of his army. Dropping right on top of his forces allows us to do a ton of damage. Now we're going to come in here. So he's got some Hellions and Marines. And basically, you want to force him to fight at our hellbats. We drop on top of these guys. He actually picks off that 1 medevac. I've still got 3 hellbats, though. And these guys are so strong versus the Hellions, he's forced to pull back. His Viking's going to try to go to work on my medevac, but the hellbat manages to get in. And we can do a lot of damage here. So just looking at some quick numbers, we've already killed a couple of SCVs. Not a crazy amount, but our opponent not mining. He's had to pull his SCVs away from the hellbats. They're scattered because they don't want to engage them. So we do end up killing 7 SCVs to start off, and now we move in. He has this Widow Mine. He picks off 1 of my hellbats, but the transition back at home is pretty safe. He goes for a Widow Mine drop at the same time, but of course if we make hellbats defensively in 1 missile turret, we can hold off any level of attack. He's only killed 2 SCVs, and we get his medevac. So he manages to clean us up out of his base. You may be wondering, well, if I didn't instantly win the game, what next? Well, you just make more hellbats. I have another double drop already prepared. I'm actually going to load up this next. I'm going to go for a 4 medevac drop, basically to try to finish him off. Load this one up, and now comes the time where we're just going to try to force it further. Behind the 2nd level drop, we get a command center up, and then we're going to transition into mech. So now we come in, we see everything that he has. We're going to drop right on top of the mineral line again. Get as much damage in as we can. So you're going to see a lot of SCVs are going to die during this attack. We've now moved up to 22 dead. And of course, if the SCVs try to run, you can load the hellbats up into the medevac and boost over to them. And the Hellions just don't do enough damage really to the hellbats, and the hellbats are so much more back them, it's very, very difficult to hold on to. So our opponent actually defends this about as well as you can without getting a perfect Widow Mine shot on the initial medevac. So we're still going to end up killing a lot. And as you can see, you can catch up to the SCVs with your medevac. Vikings don't kill them fast enough to completely stop them. I'm going to drop on top of his Hellions to kill those. And keep in mind, back at home, we're getting this command center up. I'm floating a little bit of money this game, trying to micro the medevac, but now we're just going to add on 2 factories. I'm going to get a 3rd command center because I've killed so many SCVs. And, well, now he's going to try to put on some counter pressure, but his options are rather limited, and he's going to move some units out. I'm just going to immediately load my medevacs up. I see his Hellions. I just drop on top of them. So he's now forced to retreat, and I have a very, very large economic advantage. He may have expanded sooner than me, but if we look at the workers tab, he's down 10 SCVs now, and we're about to be on 3 bases, basically, or at least 2 bases with 3 SCV at the time production. His production is limited to the initial 111 he opened the game with, and now we're at 3 factories. So I'm going to fast forward this a little bit more. We move it with another hellbat drop, basically trying to do as much damage as humanly possible. So we get in here, focus down more SCVs, and the Hellions can't really take a fight with the medevac support. He loads up his own hellbat drop, but at this point he tries to swing things back by being a little bit counter-aggressive, but we've already done too much damage. So in order to minimize my own losses, I'm just going to I'm going to drop my Vikings down to the ground and go for a frontal assault. So he drops into my mineral line. I just decide, hey, I'm just going to pull all my SCVs away, and well, he's going to try to come in here, but I just make them leave my base, basically saying, you know what, you can't really hold me off. I'm just going to hide my SCVs. I come up with one last follow-up push. I'm going to completely shut down everything he has left, and that's basically all there is to this game. I managed to just finish up and basically clean him up with a couple of siege tanks. So that's just a quick lesson for you guys on the hellbat drop video. It's a very interesting build, and you will win a majority of your TvTs if you can properly execute this. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Nathanius, signing off.